Ladies and gentlemen, this is the regular meeting of the Blight Review Board on Wednesday, December 14th at 2022 at 5:30. We are in room 206 of Darien Town Hall. First and foremost, I am delighted to welcome Sue Oakey to our group here representing the Commission on Aging.
Yes,
Yes,
indeed.
right, great. All right, well, we appreciate your volunteering to help us out with this.
Delighted.
That's terrific. Okay, second, the draft meeting minutes of our November 9 meeting are in front of you. I hope you've had a chance to review them. Could I have a motion to approve them, please? Thank you, Mr. Remote. Mr. Marsheka, seconds. Any comments, edits, corrections? All right, in favor of as proposed, that's unanimous with an abstention, Ms. Oakey, or you were voting on that?
I wasn't.
You weren't there, so
No.
you're going to abstain?
I would say.
That's fine. Good, thank you. Okay, and third on our docket is the calendar for meetings next year. They are the second Wednesday of each month, and we take a break in August. Did anybody have any comments or concerns about that? I happen. Yes, 5:30, yep. I happened to check whether, whatever October 11 is now called, Indigenous Day, Columbus Day, whatever it is, the schools are open that day, so it's on our calendar as well. Okay, so could I have a motion to approve the calendar as presented? Approved. Thank you, and a second. Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you very much. Okay. Then, moving right along, let's get to Mr. Solito's report, please.
Good evening. I'll go through this if you want to, real quickly too, for our new member.
Yes, please, yes.
Yeah.
Do lay it out carefully for Ms. Oakey.
Good. This is a kind of a spreadsheet of the properties that we have taken action on, and the board has taken action on, okay? It's headed correctly, and there are dates and dates involved. And the last column of each address kind of tells you where we're at. The majority of the ones that we have now are in a point where they are accumulating fines, and some have already have property liens involved in them. But these are the ones that we go over primarily from these meetings. And obviously, if we have any complaints or anything else of new concern, we bring it here also. Winter's usually a little bit less hectic because we don't have the spring growth and summer growth where things start to overflow. But in your booklet, you will also see the latest pictures of these particular properties, just at this point indicating whatever progress is being made on the properties.
So let me just take a second here for Ms. Oakey. I don't know whether you've watched our meetings or have any familiarity with our process, but it couldn't hurt to lay that out for you and maybe the folks of the town. There is an ordinance specific to blight review in our town charter. And so what happens is complaints are received by Mr. Solito. Mr. Solito is our blight prevention officer who is located in the fire marshal's office, I think it's fair to say, right? Mm-hmm. So complaints first go there. He investigates them and determines whether or not they ought to be brought to our attention. If so, he also will work with the homeowners. First he's got to find them, and then he tries to remedy the situation without them coming to us. If they come to us, we will then consider whether or not we want to have a hearing to determine whether whatever was complained about is in fact a blight condition, which is carefully defined in the ordinance, and it's everything from overgrowth to debris around the house and all manner of other things, some of which you'll see in our list here tonight. So if we believe that we ought to have a hearing on that topic, we call the property owner here and have a hearing, which is, a discussion here at our meeting, to let the property owner know our concern and get any reaction from the property owner about that. Sometimes we can give some opportunity for the property owner to take some curative action, but other times we feel like we just need to move forward with a finding that there is blight, and the property owner then has 30 days after notice to cure it, and if that doesn't happen, then a fine can be imposed. Typically in our, we can fine up to $100 a day, and that is what we have been doing. We are entitled to a lien against the property for the amount that has been accruing in fines, and we have been actively doing that on a number of properties to assure that we get paid at some point. I think that's the nub of it, unless somebody thinks I missed anything. Keith?
Just
Yes.
at the very onset, any complaints, everything will go to Ally as well, in case it's a person that needs additional help, if she can. So she's aware of some people that are clients of yours that we've, and many times Ally's been able to step in also to help.
Yeah, we try not to be punitive. We're trying to support the residents, and we've helped people financially if it's deemed appropriate, and particularly seniors also, which I try to help them navigate the whole process. So I'm not here to humiliate or punish people. It's really just to get the situation fixed. So.
Right.
One of the properties, for example, we've given them 2 dumpsters to dump garbage and things like that.
Yeah, there was one instance where we helped a woman paint part of her house. Another one where we helped with landscaping, to help pay the bill to bring it up to non-blight.
And Ally, your title is Director of Human Services, or?
Yes.
Yes, Director of Human Services, okay. Good, I think that's the key that you need to know for the moment, okay? We'll get into further details as we go along. Okay, Mr. Saleo, please.
Okay. The very top line, the one in yellow here, is the property that has been successfully addressed. It's still vacant, however. They're maintaining, they cleaned up a lot of the property, they're maintaining the property. We've also been in contact with the bank. They're actively going after the ownership or daughters of the owner to do more to reinforce some of the areas that are that need attention, primarily the house, the structure itself. But it has been stable for the better part of all of last year. But because it's still vacant and still no one's living there, we're keeping an eye on it, and that's why you see it in yellow at the top of the page.
I think this is a bank-owned piece of property.
No, this one is not.
This is not the bank-owned piece?
No,
Okay.
no, we'll get that when we have pictures of it.
That's what I got
Right.
confused there for a second, okay.
That, for some reason, does remind me, one other element I should inform you of, Sue, and that is, as Ally was saying, we don't want to embarrass anybody. So we do not typically refer to names or addresses. We refer to the file numbers. Okay? Sometimes we slip, or folks do come in, but anyway, that's how we try to handle that issue. Thanks, Bob.
Sure. Okay, so we'll start off with 17-011. And this is this has been on the list for a long time without much movement. However, there has been, if you notice, I don't know exactly what's under that pile now, which is on the top, in the front of his house. He's got you can see he's got underneath a tarp that's there, which is new. And also, if you look at the back of the property, there seems to be potentially some cleanup going on at that point, because there's not nearly as many items visible down the driveway. It's still definitely considered blighted, and it is already being fined, it's accumulating fines.
Is someone living there?
Yes, there's a person living there, yes. Yeah, he's living there. So that one's really remaining the same. There's a little bit of progress, but it's still well within the blighted consideration for blight. We move to 17-013. You notice the owner's representatives were in last month, and there is a notice of demolition on the front of the building now.
Oh, there is?
Officially, yeah. Yeah,
And was published in the paper.
right there. And he actually did, I don't know if they did or the neighbors put up a new fence. You can see at this point, which is, I mean, doesn't really help us, but
Bob, have you spoken to them since they were here last? Do they actually have a date? I know that the notice is up there, et cetera.
I have not spoken to them, but there is a permit through the town's permitting system, OpenGov permit, so it is definitely there. I think there's a wait time involved.
Yeah, I think it's 21 days according to the notice, during which you can object. If
Right.
there's an objection, then there's a 90-day period to deal with that. So
Yeah, and they're all still working. It's you know, it's nice that the sign is up there, and it's been up for a few weeks. It went up very soon after the last meeting.
I saw that today when I drove past, then there was a car parked in the yard.
Oh, was there?
Well,
It's
when I
back.
drove by, there was no car, so the car, I guess, is coming and going.
Yeah.
There was no car. This was taken yesterday.
Yeah.
This photo here.
That'd be nice to get rid of that
It would
one.
be good,
Yeah.
well, I guess, yeah, once it does come down, I mean, I suppose, they don't necessarily need to put a fence up, but like, I guess I would be concerned that whoever is using it as a parking space can,
I'm going to make sure that whether it's demoed or whatever, that whatever basement, whatever is there is either filled in, covered over, because, you know, leaving a hole there without fencing is probably even more dangerous than the house is.
would that be something that when the town issues the permit, that would be like part of the permit, that they have to?
That's a good, I don't know, you know, but that would be an easy question to ask, you know, mention to the building department about
Yeah.
what's left, you know, what is allowed to be left on site. Okay, we move on to 17-019. One of the vehicles, which.
Sorry, can I just, coming back to, like, I don't, it would seem to me that this,
This particular.
sorry, the last one. No, but if there is gonna be a fence required, and I have to assume there is gonna be a fence required, would I mean, basically asking the owner to at least put the fence close to the sidewalk instead of around the hole. Because if the fence is around the hole in the ground, then people can still park there. If the fence is closer to the sidewalk, then they can't.
Yeah, well, we have to focus on what our jurisdiction is, but let's see how that plays out. I agree with you. It would be the other way.
Mhm. Okay, 17-019. The owner has been in before. The one vehicle still unregistered is still located in the front of the property. And you could still see that things aren't really being kept quite neatly there. They just keep leaking out from the house and things, and it's, but we're just hoping still to get the car out of there. Haven't been in touch with her, but I do have her number, and I can give her a call just asking for
Yeah,
an
okay.
update on it.
And reminding
Robert,
her.
isn't my memory serving me correct that she talked about demolition
And getting like
Yeah.
a prefab house, yeah.
and putting
That-
prefab up?
That's what she had talked about at,
But there's nothing,
no,
no application for demolition or anything?
no, nothing yet, no.
And fines are accruing.
Yes. Yes,
This
Yes,
is the
they
one
are.
we provided 2 dumpsters to, Sue,
All right.
and it's still.
And still.
Are those the dumpsters in the back?
And they
No.
did they
No.
actually
Oh.
fill the
No.
dumpsters?
Yes, actually, they did
They,
film it,
they filled them and we took them, and
and they're still
it's
up.
still all over the place.
Yeah, those are just, those are gates that lead into the backyard, that, covered gates. Okay, we'll move to 18-002. This is, it's, the leaves and things are down, but you can still see how the overgrowth is still over the house. There's been no changes on the property there. They did get a stay from having to vacate the house till the end of the year, December 31st. And at that point, we're hoping that the bank will go, this is the one that's bank-owned. now.
This just came on the market, actually.
Oh, it did?
Only
Yes.
just, oh, really?
It was listed, I think yesterday on the MLS for $557.
Mm-hmm.
However,
Pictures
it
aren't even-
is not offering access.
No,
It has to have a cash
Oh,
offer
okay.
and it has to be bought as is, which is going to be I guess you're buying the land.
Yeah.
yeah, well,
Essentially.
yeah, you would be, yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see what
I
happens.
was wondering who well, it would have to be the bank, because the person
The
that's,
bank is the owner.
yeah, exactly.
Right, so the bank's putting it at auction, and typically when it goes to auction, you don't have the ability, you go into the courtroom and you win or not at auction, and then you pay your down payment, and then they give you an opportunity to, to look inside. And I think in most cases, people that bid on these kinds of properties, they understand what they are, and they're not expecting to rehabilitate anything, but they're looking to
Right.
acquire or knock down and build.
Generally, most people looking for homes in Darien wouldn't understand what was involved.
Right. The builders know.
Yes, yes.
You do expect an auction for this? Is that what you're saying, Mike?
I would, that's the usual, process,
Okay.
ultimately.
Certainly before the bank gets it, I know there'd be an auction, but
Right.
even now. Good, whatever. Let's hope there's lots of interest and it moves quickly.
Well, hopefully by the January meeting, we'll at least
Oh, that's right, it'll be
have clear
vacant.
what's going on. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. 18-004, it's still pretty much the same. This is the,
oh, yeah.
one of the older cases. It's still,
Is he doing a new stone wall? Is that,
cobblestone driveway,
okay.
yeah. That's there. But all of the storage
Tractors.
containers, so everything is still on site. There's been no changes.
Yeah,
And he doesn't seem to be, except that, it's nice that the motorcycle isn't there anymore.
right. The upside down
Consider that a
setup.
gain.
We'll see.
This is the property, isn't, not that we recommended for
We did, yeah.
foreclosure?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and I'll get, I'll get a status
Good,
on that
Okay,
for next
whatever.
time.
whatever. Yep. Okay,
Okay, 18-005. All of the violations have been included now, put together into one file according to the town attorneys. And no changes with this property as well.
okay.
Still in pretty poor shape. There are fines accruing with this as well.
Yeah.
And sorry, this one is occupied or not occupied?
Not
Well,
occupied.
it doesn't look like it.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't,
But he says he
I
does.
don't, he says that he lives there,
But nobody's ever
but,
there.
yeah, I've never seen evidence of a vehicle or a vehicle ever being in there.
But sorry, the person that says he lives there is the owner?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
But he's never there. The lien was filed with the town clerk October 6th, and for 13,800 right now.
Yes. Yeah, that's October. That's the October amount.
He's totally aware of all this.
Yes, yes, he is. We have his alternate address, and
Yeah.
he's getting notices to there as much
Where-
as he
Is
says.
it here in Darien?
No, in New York.
Oh, it's in
Yonkers,
New York. Okay,
yeah.
so.
But he has accepted things there before at this other property, and so he does know what's going on, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. And last one, 21-001. No changes here. The garage area in the back, the doors are still coming off, and we've had complaints of vermin in the, from the neighbors, scooting in and out of the garage in the backyard and things. But, when I spoke with them last, I asked them to get pictures, if they see anything of that, to take pictures to document where they are. And, you know, I don't know, at some point, maybe the health department, if something's documented, the health department might be able to get involved. I don't know. It's, you know, but in any event, nothing has changed on the property. Everything is still the same. The for sale sign is gone now off of this. But it's still
You don't have
vacant,
pictures
still
of that.
vacant. And it is accruing fines.
They're just listed.
Yeah, fines are accruing, okay.
Yes, fines are accruing.
Is this one here?
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
and that's it.
Nothing new?
Okay.
No,
complaints?
nothing new. Nope,
Good.
nothing at all.
Okay. So, Mr. Burke gave us one item of update. We'll get anything new on the issue of the commercial jurisdiction?
Not the last meeting, but the one before the most recent, the board voted to recommend for consideration enhancing the statute to include commercial properties. So that has the support of the Board of Selectmen and the First Selectman. That was a unanimous vote after some discussion. It will now go to Town Council for creation, and obviously I would expect to be a very serious and well-done debate at the RTM.
Yes. Yes.
Hopefully not as serious as it
I think
was
so.
to get the blight ordinance done.
I think,
The first time,
the people that in the room who were called from the origination of this ordinance were saying that, that they really were well considering the RTM when they did the initial statute, working, with the citizens. And I know that they're going to, as the RTM considers this measure, they're going to want to have it crafted in a way that we can positively, work with our commercial partners, commercial citizens, and have that club, as we discussed in the bag, if we need it.
right. Exactly. Good. Good.
Are there any commercial properties at the moment that are fall into this?
It's hard, it would be difficult to say because that first review comes out of, Robert's office. So I think it would be difficult for anyone to say, driving past anything, any property, that should go on the blight list. I mean, it's a more formalistic approach that, as our chair was just saying, comes out of that office via complaints, and then we discuss. But I think, there's been a sea change in this town over the last couple of years with the advent of new properties coming up, and some that are in various stages of development. So I think even with the new properties, there could be occasions where they fall into, blight at some point not just construction in mid-form. So I think this is an important addition, to our statutory, scheme, just because we're going to have so much more of this type of property coming online.
And we'll have to see whether they use the same definition as is used for residential property. Maybe there'll be some tweaks, so we have to see how that develops before we can really know.
Exactly.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Burke. Good. All right. Any other business?
I just have
Please,
a question. And of these properties, are all of these seniors, or none of them are senior? I'm just curious to report back to,
I think they are all, well, no, not the one with the car issue. I don't think.
No, yeah, you said she's not that old.
18-002 is not a senior.
I was told I could become a member of AARP at age 50, so
Yeah.
I don't know if we should define,
Yeah.
what do you mean by senior?
Right.
certainly, I would say 65 plus. I know 60 is the, what At Home in Darien considers a senior, but I just roughly wondered if, there would be people we should be paying attention to, the Commission on Aging.
Right, so if there is a senior, then I would certainly reach out to him, and Bob, when he gets a complaint, he'll reach out to me.
Yeah.
And see if we can be of any help. And obviously, like I said before, or if there's someone who financially needs some assistance, we can do that. So there are, some of them are seniors, but then there's some of them that are not. It's kind of a mix.
Yeah, one of the,
And there's a couple that are not occupied.
right. One of the tricky aspects is the ordinance allows us to take into consideration low-income individuals, but we really don't get information about low income, and we can't make judgments based on the condition of the property, so.
But then when I reach
And
out to
people
them,
have the right to come and be heard,
Right.
and if there's a financial problem, or we had one of the properties here that we're talking about, the woman died, there was no one living in the house, but there were like 25 people.
Heirs.
Who were heirs to the estate, and they couldn't find some of the people, and some of them, when they found them, they were dead, some of this goes on and on and on like that, but you find out stories behind it, but when they come and they talk with you, but a lot of people refuse to talk, they just ignore you,
Yeah,
that's all.
I never hear. All right, did I hear a motion to adjourn, Mr. Washeka?
You did.
Mr. Lamont, thank you, seconding. And it's, I believe, that we're calling for a vote. Is that unanimous? It is, look at that, okay.